All right. Welcome back to another market recap and look ahead to my American viewers. Happy American Independence Day. I've actually got immediate family in the US, so happy Independence Day to them. Which ultimately means that Monday will also be your public holiday, which then means that the US economy will actually be closed for Monday. And before I kick off with this particular video, I do have to apologize that I haven't done any product reviews or company reviews lately or stock reviews lately, simply because I've been so busy with a particular video, a Bitcoin video that explains the evolution of money and how Bitcoin plays into play. It's been taking a hell of a lot of my time piecing this video together, so I'm trying to get that released now on Thursday. And so pretty much almost finished with its editing, but it's a very important video, I feel. So let's get into it. So close on Friday. NASDAQ all-time high, S&P 500 all-time high, and the Dow Jones all-time high. This is this stock market is unstoppable. It is really unstoppable, and which is quite interesting, because if you compare this now to the reality of the world, the US is sitting at 136%, Germany is at 173%, the UK 321%, France 255%, Canada 137%, Australia 158%, Belgium 307%. If we go down, the Netherlands 600%, and it just goes on and on and on. So what this is telling you is that the economies are shrinking, okay? And yet you got the stock markets going higher and higher and higher, which ultimately shows you who's really in control of these stock markets. It is the central banks, of course, with their printing of money to prop up their stock markets at the end of the day. And that's really what this speaks to. But ultimately, the first world countries are contracting in terms of their economy. I mean, they are in stupid amounts of debt. It's actually quite scary. I want to start getting into a little bit of gold. As you can see, gold is in the green there. It's been consolidating a little bit. It's started making a little bit of a push up. And crude oil, again, sitting at $75 to the barrel. I mean, what can I say about crude oil? It's doing fantastically well. Okay, so let's just quickly have a look. Oil retains gains around $75 after the OPEC plus conflict delays output deal. So effectively what happened is the United Arab Emirates blocked the deal at the last minute. So basically, effectively, what that means is that they were looking to put more supply out into the market. That, of course, would have driven the price down a little bit on the oil sector itself. But the United Arab Emirates have come into the picture through a spanner at the last minute, saying, no, we don't agree to any further supply into the market. So what that means is that they have to stick back to the original agreements, which apparently on production level, which remains unchanged till April 2022. Okay, so that's all good news for oil at the end of the day. So yeah, oil is very bullish. Oil could top $100 as commodities boom shift away from China, says top economists. So and this is very careful. This is where you got to start looking at these type of plays now. So I'm very heavily invested into the commodity side, commodities and crypto. The only thing I've really got left from a stock market point of view is banks, simply because they do buy a lot into the energy sector itself. But I'm trading the NASDAQ, but majority of my portfolio is shifted to commodities because I can see what's happening here. At the end of the day, China, they're winding down on their infrastructure boom. So you're having this type of ripple effects in the commodity side of things. However, there's two initiatives that are going to be coming from Europe and from the US that's going to soak this all up and prop up the commodity side of things. So hence why I position myself for that. And we're going to get to that shortly. But let me just cover gold real quick. And we'll start getting into it now. So basically, as you can see, the market participants are keeping an eye on the recent surge in Delta variants of the COVID-19 virus across Asia and Europe, but it's not just Asia and Europe, it's also in Africa. Where I am in South Africa, particularly the province, the Gauteng, Johannesburg province, we're actually the epicenter in South Africa with regards to this Delta variant. But basically, that may underpin safe haven demand for precious metal after the recent correction. The dollar's prevailing strength is also likely to witness a pause amid progress over the US President Biden's ambitious $1.2 trillion infrastructure package that should support recovery in the precious metals. So now you should start getting the picture of where you should actually start positioning yourself and why I'm getting heavy into the commodity side. Biden is doing this cross-country promotion for this infrastructure plan. There is a hell of a lot of support actually for this infrastructure plan, and I can see it being passed in Q3 itself. And this is going to be fantastic news for commodities: your steel, your timber, and also copper, silver. It's also going to play in effects into the energy sector, obviously oil, and obviously the green energy space. Again, we're looking at steel, copper, and again silver and so forth. But this is my play that I'm looking at, and it doesn't just stop there. As you can remember in my previous videos, I had a look at the G7 summit, and basically the G7 leaders have unveiled a major infrastructure project designed to counter the Chinese Belt and Road Initiative. So this is now all coming out from Europe, not just focus on the US economy itself to resuscitate that economy, but also this is coming out from Europe going into the emerging markets to prop up or resuscitate the emerging markets in terms of development. So this is really the initiatives that is happening worldwide itself. So hence why I am positioning myself in terms of a commodity boom that is going to likely happen. Okay, I want to get to the crypto side of things. So we got Ethereum 2.0 contract exceeds 6 million Ether. Data shows Ethereum outperformed BTC, Bitcoin in Q1 and Q2. So if we just go down here, basically news recently reported on the 3 Ethereum testnets that are transitioning to the London upgrade. And if all goes well, the main fork will follow. As more than $12.4 billion has entered the Ethereum 2.0 contract, a newly published report from Glassnode shows DeFi activity has dropped considerably. Well, that's understandable considering this migration that's happening. But it does maintain that growth remains strong from a big picture perspective, because DeFi has actually grown from strength to strength from year to year. Of course, this drop is natural in terms of this particular migration that's happening with Ethereum, and Ethereum really being kind of this daddy in terms of the DeFi space. If we go to Binance, basically, again, last week touched on Binance pretty much being kicked out of Canada, particularly their province, which is Ontario. The UK as well has kicked out Binance, but their trouble doesn't stop there. Thailand is filing criminal complaints against Binance, and then the Cayman Islands and Japan have effectively kicked out Binance and sent out warnings as well. So really not a great 2 weeks with Binance, and Binance is really crumbling here in that sense. I've never been a fan of Binance. I've never been a fan of their Binance Smart Chain side of things. It's really just trying to copy Ethereum, and they were looking to challenge Ethereum from that aspect. You just can't. Ethereum is really the king when it comes to that type of play. But yeah, I mean, any projects that were really involved and built on the Binance Smart Chain, just really not much full thinking in terms of that. They should have just stuck with Ethereum. Yes, I know that their gas fees are high, but they are working on it. Ethereum is a long play. Their project is a long play. And of course, those type of gas fees will ultimately get addressed at some point. Okay, so just sticking around in the crypto side of things, Cardano joins the Grayscale Digital Large Cap Fund as third biggest component. So if we have a look what makes up their components here, we've got 67% in Bitcoin, 25% in Ethereum, 4% now in Cardano, and then you got 1% in Bitcoin Cash, 0.99% in Litecoin, and then 0.80% 6% in Chainlink. Okay, so support for American Bitcoin legal tender grows in Latin America. So this is fantastic. If we go down, we all know about Salvador. We got Paraguay that's looking into it. This is Paraguay. July, we legislate Bitcoin. I love it. If we go down, Mexico as well, they're looking. We will be promoting and proposing a legal framework for crypto coins in Mexico's lower house. Hashtag BTC. Okay, Panama. This is important, and Panama cannot be left behind. If we want to be a true technology and entrepreneurship hub, we need to support cryptocurrencies. Absolutely. I mean, South America is taking a fantastic opportunity thanks to China. China has done a monumental, stupid move. Anyway, they cracked down on cryptocurrencies. They've kicked out Bitcoin out of their country. Good luck to them. But, they're just going to stagnate as a nation, whereas continents like South America, nations like El Salvador, Panama, Mexico, if they get these legislations approved and Bitcoin becoming legal tender, they are positioning their countries to uplift their people and become a financial and technology powerhouse within their regions. And I actually touch a little bit about this in my Bitcoin video, where nations that have moved in terms of new monetary technologies ended up dominating their area. And I'll speak to that in my video and actually show this. And Bitcoin mining difficulty just fell by a record 28%. Okay, obviously we all know, as mentioned, this is about China kicking out Bitcoin itself. Bitcoin has really been resilient. It has acted tremendously during this process, and we're finding Bitcoin consolidating, but now it's also accumulating, and it's sitting just at about $35,000 US, and is poised to look at taking attack at 40,000 US dollars. While Bitcoin miners are finding safer havens in the US, but particularly South America, and it's South America's turn now that will be carrying the flag in terms of Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin's future looks really good. I hope everyone's been buying the dips when it comes to Bitcoin, and also in the commodity side of things. So yeah, just be careful right now in terms of what is happening out there. But yeah, just keep an eye on Biden's move and getting their infrastructure play bill passed, and then also in Europe itself, because it's going to be a fantastic play on the commodity sector, and that's where I've positioned myself for those type of setups. All right, guys. So yeah, this is Chris Trade. Peace out.